Hey, hello everybody. Happy Thursday. I believe today is Thursday. Yes, hope you're doing well. So I'm getting a weird message here, so bear with me here. I hope you can hear me. Man, it says an error occurred. Wait a moment, then try again. Looks like I'm live though. So hey, if you get on here and you can let me know, I would really appreciate that. If you can hear me, if you can see me, if you're part of this or not, because I'm gonna keep it moving, baby. Hi everybody. Happy Thursday again. Man, I've had a great day so far. I was out, and I'm always meeting people, talking to people, right? And then so I see my neighbor, and I know he's a physician. So I'm kind of building a bank of physicians, and he's so I talked to him, and he's like, man, I do these things, and he's not only a physician, but he's one that is progressive in his thinking, progressive in his teaching, and he exercises, and so we talked to him, and then he goes on. Then I saw my other neighbor, and he lives next close to me, and he's a walker, right? And he was walks, and we were talking, man. He said, man, I'm 64, and I don't want to be stuck. I want to be able to enjoy my life. And then I said, well, I'm 65, brother. So we did the fist pump, right? Because life is, hey, there's 65 more for us, 64 for him, and living healthy lives, right? So we talked about, and he said to me, he said, man, what would you? You had all the money in the world, and we didn't have your health. What would life be like? It would not be any fun, right? You had all the money in the world, and you never helped anybody. Not that you're supposed to, but it's part of grace and giving and serving, right? How would you feel? If you had all the money in the world, check this out, and you were by yourself, man. For me, that so all these things and these thoughts that you have when you talk to people. How many conversations are you having with people around you? How many conversations are you having with the loved ones that you have? I mean, intentful conversations, ones where you're listening to learn, you're listening to support, that you really are focused on hearing them, letting them know that you hear them. How many conversations do you have with your children? And what are those like? So I'm on a tangent now. I'm going to come back to why I'm here. But, I just challenge you. What is it that, you're thinking about? What is it that you talk about all the time? And is it helping you, holding you back, right? See, the power is in the comeback. Today's session is going to always, Thursday, when you have me by myself, it's going to be about the power is in the comeback. And the messes or magic is in your mess, right? Because look, I'll just face it. You're either going to be moving into some struggles, some challenges. You're either going to be in it, knee deep, right, trying to figure out how you can get out of it, or you're just getting on the other side and you're looking back and saying, I don't want to go there anymore. But guess what? Life is always about the next thing, whether you're geared for it or not, right? I mean, if you're not doing anything at all, then life's just going to beat you up. And if you want to grab life by the shirt and live this life full out, you definitely are going to have what I like to think of as positive pressure. Positive pressure, that pressure that's designed to help you get deep inside yourself and reach that person that you're supposed to be, right? Because you're not going to get there by just having passive ways of thinking. I'm checking something out real quick. Let me just do this, see what I got here. All right, anyhow. So welcome again to another session of Conversations with Geoff, with the focus on the powers in the comeback, and your message or your mess provides the things that you need to have, right? My name is Geoff Tyson, and I'm known as the king of the comeback. I got that name from other folks who have seen and followed me and know me from early childhood struggles to losing my football dream, right? And then sitting on the edge of the bed in college with a 1.9 grade point average, figuring out, well, what am I going to do next, right? And then figuring that out and graduating on time with honors, and then corporate life and having a great corporate life, and then surrendering that dressed up garbage can guy, right? The one that thinks everything is okay on the outside, pretends like everything is okay on the outside, portrays like everything is okay on the outside, but on the inside, rotten because of all the messaging and all the things that have been stuffed and not taken care of, right? And then what do you think happens? That conversation with myself about myself talks about all that garbage inside him, just like it does for you, right? And we talk about here in our community about a couple of things. And number one is being conscious of the conversations you're having with yourself about yourself, right? That's right, being conscious of what that does. And once you're conscious, you're getting to pay attention to that as you're going through your day. Then you know when you go down that rabbit hole and you start thinking about all the things that you can't control, you start thinking about all the things that went wrong yesterday, thinking about all the things that you're worried about, or past thoughts start to race in your mind. You hit that pause button, baby, right? And then you become deliberate in doing that. It's a deliberate action. You have to pay attention, and once you see it, you stop it, right? And lastly, and the third thing is then you become determined to replace it. Right? If it's going down, you pull yourself back. Hey, wait a minute. Straighten out. That's not what you want to say. I talk a lot about being cancel as a term I use from one of my mentors. It automatically removes that thought. And now you replace it with something else. I can instead of I can't. I will instead of maybe. I must. No matter what, I must, right? Nothing will stop me from reaching my destiny. I will not be denied. Now, what are you feeding your brain? What are you living off of, right? So today, I want to just talk about something I don't talk about a lot. And I want to share, some thoughts around personal relationships. And my wife and I and our daughter and her husband, we were able to attend a really great event over the weekend, and it's my wife and I's, I think, third or fourth time, and our daughter's second. And it was a marriage retreat. Yeah, marriage retreat. And they bring guest speakers in, right? And they talk about things, and it's hosted by Lakewood Church. So I want to send it out to everybody for next year. It's basically, hardly any money to be a part of it. But man, the guests come in and they lay it out there, and we talk about everything under the sun, from sex to denial and all the struggles that you have in the relationships and stuff like that. So just phenomenal time over there in the weekend. And Samuel, thanks for stopping in. And those of you who hit this message later, really, really encourage you to subscribe if you haven't already. Set your notification bell up and do your thing, right? So anyway, hey, back to what I was talking about. I'm going to get to why I'm here, but I want to thank my two guests here lately that we had. One was Nate Rush. If you haven't seen that one, Nate Rush, go back and see it. He was a man who was a military guy, came back, got caught up in addiction, heroin, and then got himself clean. And then from there, he became a director of a not-for-profit group, and he became a pillar in that community. And he helped people find their passion in serving those that are in addiction, and also helping people stay clean. Thousands of people over his journey, right? And then he gets sick and near death, and people, didn't think he would make it. Healthy man, sick. I mean, in 2-3 years like this, right? But he comes through that now, and he's back, and he's on the show, and he's sharing that message. You got to go check that out, right? So many things that he has to offer in there. And then yesterday or Tuesday, my friend Peter Weingarten, and it's his message, I wrote it down: heart health mindset plus heart health lifestyle. Heart health mindset plus heart health lifestyle, right? It's about lifestyle. It's about mindset and how you can go plant-based and figure out how you can live your life without medications, possibly, right? Anyway, so go back and check those two. I'm passionate, but I want to say this: when you are passionate about what you're doing, like these gentlemen are, all of our guests are, then the universe will feed you information, right? He has one thing he talks about, Peter does a lot. It's about, he takes the word Bahamas, right? Everybody thinks about the Bahamas in the sunshine, right? And then he says the Bahamas for him is body and heart, mind and spirit. And man, that's the whole thing, connecting the body, the heart, the mind, and the spirit. Boy, when you line those things up together, man, woo, you become unstoppable. But you got to do the work, right? That stuff does not happen without some work. You got to do the work. And I've always talked about that. But for those of you that understand that, man, you're limiting resources, or the area that you're in right now is not where you want to be, but you don't know how to get out. You know that it's the conversations that you're having with yourself about yourself that's either going to feed you or hold you back. And our whole objective is to really help you get clarity. It's 3 C's. Clarity. From that clarity, you become more certain. I say certainty is so powerful. And then all those two things just fill your confidence, right? And then it takes you to the next level. And then your momentum goes and your momentum grows, right? And then all of a sudden you find yourself in spaces that you knew you could get to, but you worked at it. It didn't happen overnight, but it made it happen, right? So anyway, so I just want to think about a couple words and back to the relationships, and you can use this wherever it fits in your life. But they talked about vulnerability as a word and forgiveness. And I don't know about you fellas, being vulnerable at one point in my life was something I would never show, right? There's just no way. It's just, I'm not vulnerable. There's nothing I'm afraid of. There's nothing, all this crazy stuff in our heads. But that's the furthest thing from the benefit of that exercise, being vulnerable, right? I mean, I didn't know this for a good portion of my life, and I always defended myself and protected myself. But I found out that the next piece of it is the forgiveness that I needed for myself allowed me to understand that it's okay to raise my hand and say, hey, I need some help. It's okay to say how I'm feeling and not be worried about what the person's going to attack me or not. It's okay to say I'm scared. It's okay. It's okay to cry, man, when you feel like crying. It's okay to mourn when you need to mourn. And being vulnerable in a space is so important, man. Right. And man, I remember I was terrible at relationships. I told you that before. And I always kind of shielded myself, and I never knew why. I know today, and I've helped hundreds of other people understand that, was that, there was some things about I was afraid to be hurt again. Right. There's some healing that goes on in this process too. Right. So anyway, man, we're going through these lessons. And so I encourage, I'm going to talk to everybody, but fellas in particular, embrace vulnerability. Embrace forgiveness, right? And what I mean by that is that all the things we've done, we still carry the baggage from that. All the things we've heard about ourselves that aren't true, we carry the baggage from that. So, but finding some forgiveness in how your life has been based off of that allows the vulnerability to be play in your life, man. So I encourage you all, when you hear this message, share this information with your friends. And we'll go into great detail around vulnerability, forgiveness, some acceptance, right? And then another word, surrender, right? Because that really kind of sets everything else off. And you're really kind of in that space where you're controlled by your stinking thinking. And you know that there's something greater for you to do. And you're limited by your environment, whether it be addiction, family, and income, whatever that is, or it's just limited in your mental state. Right? That trap that holds you close together, man. So I encourage you to think about this. Are you willing to recondition your mind? Recondition it with things that are going to help you. Clarity, right? Seeking the clarity that it is that helps you find your purpose in your mess, right? In the mess. In the power of the comeback, man, is finding that clarity in the mess. Right? And then becoming certain about who you are and what it is that you really want to do, what you're willing to do to get there. And then understand the gift of it is a big confidence. Stand in there, stand in the storm that you're going to need to stand in there, right? Be able to do the things that you're uncomfortable doing until you reach the other side. Being able to understand that helping other people is so important. We're all meant to be servants in some way or another. So as I get into my last minute, I told you I'm only going to be here 15 minutes. I encourage you to do this. Pay attention, be conscious of what you're saying to yourself. Be deliberate about stopping it, and then to be determined that no matter what, no matter where you are, that you will take practice, and day by day by day, mindset will change, your position will change, and your life will get better. But you got to start. So check me out, Geoff. Information is in the chat. The power is in the comeback. And know this. There's nothing that stops you from reaching your destiny. It is your time. And be a part of Conversations with Geoff. Let's take this journey together. All right? You guys take care. I'm done. See you on the next episode. Power is in the comeback. The message or magic is in your mess. All right. Take care, baby. Bye-bye.